All right. Okay. Happy Tuesday. Happy Fat Tuesday. I am not in New Orleans, so I don't, I'm just gonna say it because I just heard it was Fat Tuesday. I lost so much track of time with everything I got going on. I didn't even know that today was Fat Tuesday. So happy Fat Tuesday, and welcome to Tuesday Talks with Lady O. I am super excited about this Tuesday talk. It is one of the topics I like to talk about. One of the topics that I had to get healing from. One of the topics that I think that a lot of people suffer from. Because we all have been betrayed or probably will be betrayed in our lifetime. So I wanted to talk about this topic because a lot of people are not healing correctly because they're dealing with betrayal from somebody. They're still dealing with how to cope with that person. Some people have been betrayed, but are still either living with the people, still dealing with the people, still married to the person, still friends with the person, and so on. So when it comes to betrayal, there are a lot of people who can't get past it because they haven't yet to cope with it. Now, I'm here to tell you, you can get past betrayal. You're going to have to want to get past betrayal. You're going to have to want to heal from the betrayal because the betrayal is not about you. Okay, let's get that out of the way. The betrayal is not about you. The people that betray you are the people that are narcissistic. These are people who have spent their lives, you didn't see it, but they have spent their lives doing other people dirty. They have been savages to other people. But when the betrayal got to us, this is when, I guess in my case, by the time the betrayal got around to me, I was dumbfounded. And most of us are. When we get betrayed, we're dumbfounded, even though they have given you red flags the entire time before they are going to hit you with the betrayal. Okay. And you're like, well, how do you know that? Remember, when we're in love with people, when we love people, when we don't see any wrong in people, because we're never walking around in life thinking somebody is going to betray us. We're just not walking around in life like that. I mean, yeah, we have the little inkling that, okay, we might not deal with this person because, people come up to you and say, well, hey, don't hang out with that person because, that person did this to that person. Or somebody will come up to you and say, well, don't date this particular person because this person does that. But we don't really sit around our lives thinking people are going to betray us. So this is why when the betrayal happens, we're in shock. We're in awe. We're in disbelief because we cannot believe that we were the people they decided to betray. Okay. And again, betrayal is not about you. It is about the people that do the betraying. Let's first get that through your head. But I'm going to give you 3 red flags to look for that we did not look for in the betrayal, because most people don't spend their lives walking around. Because just to think about it, if you couldn't have good relationships with your family members, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouses, co-workers, if we all walked around thinking that this person was going to betray our trust, okay, we wouldn't be comfortable. We wouldn't be able to sleep at night if that's how we walked around life. Okay, so we don't see the red flags. We don't get up in the morning thinking about the red flags that these people, the betrayers, have displayed. Okay, we just don't. And especially if it's a family member, especially if it's someone that you love, especially if it's a spouse, we do not want to notice red flags. That goes for me. That goes for everybody that I know. When we love people, when we're invested in people, we will ignore the red flags. Well, I'm going to give you the 3 red flags that you need to start looking for, because this is how people who betray you act. These are the things that they do before they go into the act of betrayal. Okay, write these down. And if not, I'm going to have a worksheet for you all. Number 1, they make sure your entire group life things are about you. They play the blame game. Okay. So whoever the betrayer is going to be, they spend all the time. And right now you're probably saying like, well, how do I spot that? A lot of people like to say my life, blah 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 blah. No, you're gonna see that person. You're gonna feel that person, okay? Because they spend all of their lives blaming you for everything. They do nothing wrong, okay? Their behavior, they have the worst behavior towards you. Then they're so narcissistic that they turn that behavior onto you to make you seem like you're the nuts one. You're the crazy one. You're the one that's always doing stuff. You know, in my case, my betrayers constantly blame me for everything. I was the reason why the relationships was not working out. I was the reason why that we didn't get along. It was because I was the one that was a drunk. I was the one that was going to jail all the time. Me. My betrayers constantly inflicted that onto me. Okay. And so for a long time, I thought this is what actually was, it was my fault. Okay. So the first red flag is that most of the times they're never going to take responsibility for their actions. It's always going to be about you. It's never about the actual betrayer. Is never about the what they're doing. They're going to constantly blame you for every single thing that they do, because it makes them feel better about themselves, because again, they're going in for the big savage betrayal, but they got to get you together first. Okay. Number 2, the second red flag. They spend time grooming you. They start grooming you for the betrayal. Okay. They find out your triggers. What triggers you the most? What pisses you off? Okay. They constantly keep that going. If you notice that whoever you're around is constantly bringing up your past, or they're constantly doing little miniature things that they know for a fact triggers you. So they spend time grooming you for what they're about to get ready to do. Now, of course, we don't see this because we don't see the red flags. Why are we looking for red flags? We're not looking for red flags in the people that we love. We're not looking at the red flags in our friendships. We're not doing that. So they spend time grooming you to make sure that this is about you. This is not about me. I'm the great person. I'm the person that does everything. I'm telling you, they are narcissistic. Okay. They spend their entire time making sure they do things that will totally hurt you. The third red flag, which correlates with the second one, is they start grooming people around you. They start going to each and every person around you to make sure that the people around you know that you're the bad person. They always want to make sure that the people know that I don't want anything to do with this person. You don't want to deal with this person. Okay. In the case of my betrayers, they tried to isolate everybody away from me. And they succeeded at some of the people. Okay. Because nobody actually knows what they only heard one side of the story. So my betrayers were grooming the people around me to set themselves up for the big betrayal. Now they got people on their side. So as far as they're concerned, the people, when they go in for the savage kill or betraying you, they got tons of people on their side now, because they didn't want to tell everybody about you. They don't want to tell everybody how you do stuff. They don't want to tell everybody all the things they hate about you. They are grooming the people around you. So when they get ready for the kill, they'll have people on their side. Now you're saying to yourself, they go through all of this to start to do, but yes. Now there are going to be betrayals that people just do. But I cold-heartedly believe, because I suffered this, they do scheme up stuff because they have to make their betrayal, the betrayal against you, justified. So the betrayal against you has to make sense in their narcissistic mind. So when they go in for the kill, when they do the betraying, they don't feel bad when they do it. They cut you deep, but they have already groomed everybody around you So now they got a team of people with them. So when they go in for the kill, everybody now is against you. They always isolate you from the people because they don't need you going and talking and telling their side of the story. See, it's two sides of every story. Well, it's three sides to every story. But they don't want you talking to those people. So they gonna cut you off. See, narcissistic people, people who do betraying, they are easily to cut you off, but we hold on. So they groom the people around you. So when it is time for that big betrayal, you have nobody. You don't even know what story to tell because you don't even know what they told the people around you. I'm still stuck in a rock and a hard place because I do know for a fact that what they said, I know some of the things that they said, but I don't know exactly to who. And it was very, it's very calculated. Narcissists are very calculated. When they are doing things, they are very calculated about what they're doing. And this is why we have to, when we do get betrayed, we have to start examining the relationships because these are the times that you need to get rid of these people. Because if they will calculate against you, they will calculate against somebody else. They will calculate against people they love too, that they've been close to, the people that they groomed to keep them on their side. Trust me, if they're going to betray you, you best believe they're going to betray those people too. It's just a matter of time because this is how they live. They live betraying people. This is how they do. There is nothing else that they live for but betraying people. So it's not going to be a one-off. And trust me, the people that betrayed me, I know for a fact I wasn't the only person. These particular people have been doing this for years. It just now got around to me. So when you are sitting there and you're trying to start coming up with reasons why these things happen, they had already given us the red flags. They'd already showed themselves, but we chose not to believe that these people could do the things that they could to us. We chose to believe, and that's codependent behavior, because some of us are codependent, or at least I was. But some of us are codependent on the behavior, so we don't really care about what they're doing. We kind of just shove it off until the betrayal happens. Until the betrayal happens. And those of you all who know that I read my Bible, I'm an avid reader of my Bible, and I am reading, and it's so funny because when I decided, when the betrayal reared its ugly head again this week towards me, and I had to relive some of the betrayal, I started reading scriptures, and I started reading the scriptures about Cain and Abel. Joseph. I mean, it's so funny that, all of these things are in the Bible. You would think if we already read these stories, we already know that they happen. So why are we so shocked and in awe that this could happen to us? Because we're human. We never think people are going to do us dirty. Remember, we have good hearts. And y'all know how much I hate using that term to keep people around, but we do. We have good hearts. So we don't see the bad in the people we know we shouldn't be seeing the bad in. But sometimes it's tricky. Betrayal is tricky because it can come from anybody. We get the misconception that my brother wouldn't betray me. My sister wouldn't do that to me. My mother wouldn't do that to me. My cousin, we get the misconception that family members won't betray you. We spend all our entire lives thinking that we have these perfect family members, but they're human too. And sometimes you can't imagine that the same person that came from the same mother is also a narcissistic fool. You don't imagine that, but it happens. And you have to be ready for that. And when I started my healing journey, because when the betrayal happened, when it started to come back up this week, thank God I was healing. Thank God that I'm going through my process because I could have handled the betrayal so differently. And I didn't. I went into the processes of what I would go through. I'm getting to those steps of how I cope. But I had my period of rage and anger and being upset about why this and why that, the moments of wanting to go after these people, all of that came up this week. All of that stuff came up. But thank God for my healing process, because I now know how to cope with these people. And for those of you all who know me, know I cut off people. I'm not lingering around to see if you might change. Because see, the times that you're lingering around, you're giving them permission to do that again. Now, I do know that there are so many people that are codependent on their husbands or their wives, or some people are codependent on family members. I totally understand that. And that may be something that you need to work on so that you will be able to cut ties. I have no problem cutting ties. I don't care who it is. My mental health is way more important than hanging on to people who will destroy my mental health. I'm not doing it. And I don't care who it is, mother, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, I don't care. I'm cutting you off. I have no tolerance for inconsistent behavior. And I think we stick around people who betray us because we feel like we need to heal with them. You can't heal with people who break you. It's just not going to happen. I don't care who it is that betray you. You are not going to be able to heal in the same place that you were broken. It's just not going to happen. And you can tell me, well, especially for those of you had your husband betray you. My husband's betrayed me before, and I stayed in the relationship. But I also set boundaries in my relationship, and and I can explain at the time of the first betrayal, that when he did it the first time, when it happened to me, never happened again. I put my foot down. What you not gonna do is this, and I had no problems after that. Okay, I didn't stay in the relationship because I was codependent on him. I didn't stay in the relationship because I was scared to get a divorce, or I was scared to do all these things. And this was fresh in the relationship. So I didn't really feel like I needed to break off anything right now, because we were both new to the relationship. I had problems, he had problems. We were coming together, just a problematic bunch of people. So no, I didn't go in for the big divorce thingy at that time. But I will tell you, I did put my foot down. I set boundaries, because you would never, ever, ever get a chance to do that again. And it has never happened again. So some of you all, if you're going to stay with the people that betray you, you better learn how to set boundaries. You better learn to stand up for yourself. You better learn to say, regardless, if you betray me and this is what you're not going to do, then they're going to comply with what your boundaries are, or do you need to get away from these people? Stop giving inconsistent people chances over and over and over to hurt you, to betray you, because betrayers sense weakness. And that's what I know, that when my betrayers went in for the kill, it was during a weak time. That's what it was. It was doing, and you know what? That just came to me. It was during a time when I was kind of weak. I was fighting with my mental health. And that person came in. They came in for the big kill. So, of course, I wasn't focused on it because I wasn't expecting it. But I was also weak in the mind because I was dealing with so much of myself. So betrayers sense weakness. Remember, they're like lions. They're roaming through the wilderness trying to seek out their prey. So if you let them betray you one time and you shake it off and you feel weak and you're like, okay, well, maybe it's me, all of the things they want you to think. Remember, they have already groomed you to believe you're the problem. So when they betray you, you don't act sympathetic. You are sympathetic to the betraying, because they have already now told you it was your fault. So you're sitting around trying to figure out, which I did. I tried to figure out what was wrong with me. What did I do wrong? Why do these people always, what maybe it is me. But nah, the betrayer is not about you. It's about them. So if you stay, you need to set boundaries. You need to stand up for yourself, and you need to make sure this never happens again. But you are not going to be able to heal with that person. You're going to have to heal separately. And see, once I started healing, there were a lot of things I didn't tolerate anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people are afraid to start healing too, because you all are afraid that if I get healed, maybe I might lose some people. Y'all should know by now, I don't care about losing people. There are billions of people in the world. I'm about to move to a whole entire new state. I don't know a damn better person in Texas. Maybe who I needed to meet is there. Stop being afraid to lose people like you can't find somebody else. Like you can find other sisters in Christ. You can find other sisters in your sororities. You can find other sisters on your job. You can find other sisters. I mean, this world is so open for us to meet other people. Yeah, you only get one mother and father, but you can have spiritual mothers. You can have spiritual fathers. You can get married as many times as you want to in this world. There is nothing that says that you have to hold on to people because you have to. Where is the rule book on that? And I think people get that misconception. Well, it's my mama. I can't do this to my mama. Well, then, hey, you get what you get what you're gonna get. Hey, these my children, or this my job, this is my girl from back in the day. Okay. Then you don't get to complain about how you're being mistreated. You don't get to complain about how somebody's always doing something to you if you were staying where you're not valued. You don't get to complain about it because you've allowed them, you've tolerated this behavior. Okay? So you don't get to complain about that. If you will not heal where you're broken. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I stayed with my husband, but I healed separately. I healed separately. And I am okay with that. Now, from the betrayal that's happening now, I have cut ties. I have no intentions of being around these people ever again. I have no intentions of bringing them back in my life. I have no intentions of feeling guilty about this. Because that's another thing that people who betray you want you to do. They want you to feel guilty. They spent all this time making it your fault, and then you get the nerve to cut them off. You get the nerve to stand up for yourself. You get the nerve to say, hey, you ain't fitting to do this to me ever again. Now they try to make you feel guilty. And that's what was happening with me. Oh, it was the guilt trip all day long. I no longer fall for it. You're cut off. You didn't value me when I was in your life. You don't get to come back in it. There are billions of people in the world. We don't have to stay with people just because they're family, because we're married, because we was friends for so many years. You all have to get that out of your head. I am moving to a new state. I'm going to meet new neighbors. I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to meet new people at the restaurants. I'm going to meet new people at the gas station. I'm going to meet new people. If you cut ties, you open up the door for better people and better things. But you all are holding on to things that you don't have to, and people you don't have to. So let's talk about how you cope after you've been betrayed. How did I get through my betrayal and able to still stand up and talk about it? How was I able to get through my betrayal and was able to continue still standing? How was I able to get through my betrayal and go on about my life? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm going on about my life. It did not work if I didn't have healing. It's not going to work if you are prolonging your healing. If you are suffering from, remember, I'm bipolar. I do suffer from mental health issues. There are days that it might come back up, but I have done the work. I have put in the work. And once I got through these steps this week, I felt so much better. I was so proud of myself for coming out of this particular betrayal unscathed. The betrayal is not about you. It's about the people who do the betraying. And I had to think about it that way. That's how I cope. I had to start thinking about it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It wasn't me. It was them. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't care how many people they would have told. I don't care how many people they lied to. I don't care what they had put in their narcissistic brains. I did nothing. So I'm chilling with my betrayal. I'm okay with it. I even still pray for these people. Right now, tonight, when I go to bed tonight, before I hit my bed, I'm going to pray for these people. When I wake up in the morning during my prayer time and in my meditation, I pray for these people. Because they do need prayer. They need healing. See, hurt people hurt people. And going back to the red flag and then blaming you for everything because they don't think that they need healing. These people are hurting. These people don't realize that there's something wrong with them too. They're narcissistic. There's nothing wrong with me, but it is. And if you're sitting back thinking that they're going to come to their senses, so you might keep them around for a little bit, thinking that they'll come to their senses, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. When hell freezes over, will these people apologize to you? Hell, when hell freezes over, that these people will tell you why they did it? Because remember, they don't think they did anything wrong, so how the hell are they going to apologize? You're waiting for them to say something that, see, the little girl in me was waiting for the apology. The little girl in me was still trying to figure out why. The little girl in me couldn't fathom that these people would do this to me. But the grown healing woman in me said, this is not my fault. This was not my doing. And I don't have to live with these people. I don't have to deal with these people, live with these people. I don't have to. And once we start changing our mindsets about the misconception we get about family members and parents and cousins and all of that stuff and church members and best friends for life, the easier it will be on you to start healing. Because you do not have to continue with inconsistent people. So I'm going to give you 3 ways I cope and got through my healing unscathed. Number 1, you know what? I write these things out. Sometimes I type them out. Today I didn't type them out. So now I can't read my own handwriting. I'm just like scribbling. I got so much going on. Number 1, feel the betrayal. Feel it. This week, I felt the betrayal. I felt my feelings. I experienced the feelings. The first feeling, rage. I was enraged this week. I was pissed off. It took everything out of me not to get in my car and go turn some crap out. Do you hear me? It took everything in my body not to get in my truck and go and wail on some people. But I'm healed. That was the unhealed me thinking. 2, the why. I started feeling the feelings. I put myself back into the 12-year-old little girl. The 12-year-old little girl who needed somebody. The 12-year-old little girl who cried out for somebody to love me. So I went into the why. Why would they do this? I just could not wrap around my brain, and I still can't wrap it around my brain. Why me? You can do this to somebody else that ain't kin to you, but why me? So I felt that feeling. I cried in the shower. I took a whole day to get past it. I cried in the shower. I didn't speak to my husband. I stayed off of social media. I prayed. I walked around the house feeling my feelings. I felt it. And I asked myself why. But it's never going to happen. You're wasting time because they're not going to tell you why. But remember, they don't see anything they did wrong. So you're never going to get that why. You're going to be thinking about why forever. You know, I like to say people like to say things on their deathbed. Maybe when they get on their deathbed. You know? Feel the feelings. It's okay. And the third feeling was how. This is where we go back to blaming ourselves again. Okay? We start blaming ourselves. How did this happen to me? I'm smart as hell. How did this happen to me? After everything I've done for these people? How did this happen? How did I let this happen to me? How? I went back through all of that. I started questioning, why didn't I see the signs? Why did I allow this to happen? How did I let them slide in for the kill? I'm usually one of those high strung people who knows everything before ahead of time. I'm a Scorpio, for goodness sakes. I should have saw this coming. But I didn't. And don't forget, when they are betraying you, they catch you at the weak moment. So I was experiencing some weak moments when this stuff popped off. So they slid in for the kill. So I felt my feelings. I was okay with the rage. The rage in me wanted to go slam some heads, go turn it out, cuss and fuss. And that the only person that's going to hurt is yourself. Because you're going over there. Remember, they don't think they did anything wrong. So they're going over there. They have already justified their behavior. They've already groomed people against you. So me going over to where I needed to go it's not going to solve anything. I was just going to get myself in trouble. So I felt the anger. It's so funny because even one of the things I felt was, and guess what? This person gonna need blood, and I'm gonna be their type, and I ain't gonna give it to them. Like I was like coming up with all kinds of scenarios where they might need me, and I ain't fit to do it. I was just coming up with scenarios in my head, like how Lifetime movies are. They betray you, and then you have to go rescue them. I was having all of these things going in my mind, but it's okay to feel your feelings. Feel the betrayal. Cry for the betrayal. Laugh at the betrayal. I'm at the laughing stage now because it's so funny to me. I mean, all of that for what? Now I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm out your life. I don't want nothing else to do with you. I can't do nothing for you. But was it worth it? Is it going to be worth it when we're 90 or when we're 70 years old and you want to talk or you need? Was it worth it? So I'm in the laughing stage now. Okay, you'll get there. When you start take these steps, you will get there. And you may have to redo these steps over and over until you do get there. And it's okay. Number 2, examine the relationships. Go back and look over the relationship. See all the things that you've gone through with these people. The betrayer, the person that betrayed you, examine that relationship. Did you not have problems with these people from before? Were there tons of red flags that you missed, but you decided to overlook them? Was the relationship damaged before, but because you're being passive and naive and you're just wanting to be codependent on these relationships, examine it. And when I went back to examine my relationships, they were nothing. They kind of were not anything anyway. It's going to make you bring up old stuff. You're going to feel that. You're going to cry about it. You're going to ask yourself why. All of those things came up for me. I examined the relationship. And all of the things. I'm talking about the little girl things. All of the things came up when I examined my relationship. And when I look back over the relationship, it was nothing there anyway. I felt like we would just hold together because why? Because we're family. That was the only thing that's keeping us there. So I examined the relationship. Wasn't much there, so I cut ties. Period. There's nothing there. It was never nothing there. And I cut ties. And most of the times you have to re-examine this relationship. If this is a relationship that you've been the giver the entire time in the relationship, cut ties. If this is a relationship where they're always down on you, putting you down, devaluing you, maybe you need to cut ties. Examine the relationship after your betrayal, because you might have been saying, holding on all these years in a relationship that you don't even need. Technically, I don't really need these relationships with these people. Everybody doesn't have the same family. So shout out to all of you all who has this hallmark magnificent family. I don't. Shout out to everybody who got these perfect marriages. I don't. Okay, so when I say cut people off, I know it might seem insensitive to most people who love their family. I commend you. I give you high five. Shout out to you. But that ain't my case. So examine your relationships. Do you really need these people continuing in your relationship? Now, if you want to keep them, remember what I said about that. If you want to keep the betrayals in your life, you better heal separately, and you better set boundaries. You better step up for yourself. Because if you don't, this will be consistent behavior of betrayal constantly. And you will be at fault at this point, because you're going to continue to allow it. And trust me, if they get away with it once, they will do it again. Okay? If they do it once, they'll do it again. If you examine the relationship after being betrayed and you decide, I can't live without this person, I'm too codependent on this person, I need this person in my life or these people in my life, then you better be damn sure that you are healed enough to stay in this relationship. Because trust me, they will do it again and again and again, because they are allowed to. And you no longer have control over it. Examine the relationship. Number 3, grieve the betrayal. It's okay to grieve it. It's okay to mourn for it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to grieve what you thought the future held with you and the person that betrayed you, or the people that betrayed you. If it was a spouse, you're okay to grieve what you thought was going to be the perfect marriage and the future that you were going to have with this person. You're okay to grieve the fact that your mother betrayed you, because you thought you was going to have this beautiful mother-daughter relationship. Same thing with your father. Remember, Father's Day is hard for me. I see women walking, when y'all start to put the pictures up with your father walking you down the aisle, that gets to me. But see, I cope with not even being on Facebook on Father's Day. I'm a lot better with it now. But before, it would kill me and tear me up inside. Because he was my betrayer too. And for years, I stayed and I tried to figure out why I needed to. I grieved what I thought was supposed to be that daughter-father relationship. It's okay to grieve it. It's okay to grieve what you thought your future with these people would look like. But things change. People change. Nothing stays the same, not even relationships. So grieve it. Think about it. Journal about it. Go talk to somebody about it. Seek the help you need to get past this betrayal. But don't just waddle in it. Don't just stay down there. Because at this point, you start to give them the power. When you give your betrayers power, they have power over you. And see, I didn't give my betrayers power. They have no power over me. I let them do what they did. I examined the relationship. I grieved it, and I cut them off. And that's what I did. That's why I'm able to tell you the story tonight without crying. This is why I'm able to tell you the story tonight without feeling some type of way. Because I took those steps And I said to myself, this was not about me. This wasn't about me. The betrayal is never about you. No matter what they have said, no matter what they've told people, no matter how they have groomed everybody around you to see the bad in you, it's not about you. The betrayal is about the person who's doing the betraying. Hurt people hurt people. Unhealed people do unhealed things. This is not about you. And once you start realizing that, you will come out unscathed. I'm here. I'm okay. My life is still going on. That betrayal is not stopping me from moving to Texas in the next couple of weeks. That betrayal is not going to stop me from hanging out with my sorority sisters this weekend. That betrayal is not going to come between the friendships I have with my friends. That betrayal has no power over me. See, when they do the betraying and you take back your power, then they have nothing left. Of course, they're going to use guilt. That's their MO. Now you're the person. You're the bad person. Remember, you were the bad person at the beginning. You're going to also be the bad person at the end too. Guess who's not going to take responsibility for their actions? The betrayer. You're going to spend all your life trying to get a why and a how, and if they're going to change or an apology, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, some instances it may, but I can listen to, I think Joyce Meyer says this, that her father and her mother eventually came, as they got older and apologized. But look how long it took. It was damn near 80-something years old, about to die. So if you are sitting around examining your relationships, or you're going to stay with these people because eventually they may change, you might be waiting till you're 80. Who has that type of time to be wasting on these people? I don't have no time to waste on people. When you show me who you are and what you feel about me, then I will help you out. Saying you ain't even got to do it. You ain't even got to worry about me no more. I'm helping you. See, so when they come to you with the guilt trip, or you know you shouldn't do this, and I'm helping you out, boo. You spent years trying to get rid of me. You have done everything you could, but this one was it. So now I'm gone. I don't feel guilt. I don't feel like I need to go make amends. No, I'm not doing any of that. No, I'm not going to ask why. Because again, listen to me. They don't think they did anything wrong. So if you're waiting for these people to come around, it's just not going to happen. And if you go back to these people, with their inconsistent behavior, now you are getting what you have set yourself up for. And I hate to say what you deserve, but if you are staying in inconsistent relationships with inconsistent people, you kind of deserve that then. You don't want to be happy. You don't want anything else, apparently, if you are going to let your betrayers keep you hostage. Stop letting them do that. I have been free from my betrayers because I set boundaries. They crossed them, so I got the hell away. I no longer will tolerate inconsistent behavior from inconsistent people. Betrayal is a hard thing to get over, but you can. You can. Therapy, journaling, being just with you, it's okay. I'm okay. And I'm not okay. I will be okay. When I went through the process of the coping skills, these coping skills, I came out the next day, literally, I was different. I was like, okay. So, my husband brought it up, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm good. I went through the process, and I came out unscathed. I feel good about this decision that I made. Oh, matter of fact, I made the decision 2 years ago, actually, but some other stuff came up, and I had to relive the betrayal. But I got through it. You will get through it, but you have to be willing to maybe go it alone for a little bit. You have to be willing to examine those relationships because they probably were not good from the beginning. You just didn't pay it attention because you did not want to see it. Trust me, I was there. How could these people do this to me? How? We'll never know. I probably will never know. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I've grieved for it. I've grieved what my future would be like with these people. I'm okay. I'm okay now. And there are going to be days when those thoughts come back to me. But I have such a great support system. I have so many coping skills that I've learned during my healing journey. There are things that I am doing now that will keep me away from those people and their betrayal. I no longer want people like that in my life. I no longer want people like that who don't value me. I no longer want people in my life that are inconsistent. I don't want to be back with you. Now I got trust issues. I don't got time for that. I don't have time for that. Every time they make a move, now you're trying to figure out what the move is. I don't want to be in relationships like that. I don't care who it is. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live the rest of my life with inconsistent people. I don't care who they are. Life is not meant to be lived like that. I got enough mental health issues to have people in my life that contribute to the problems. So I cut ties. I'm okay with cutting my ties. I have done the work, and I'm okay with that. Don't let other people come into your life and tell you, well, you shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing it. Remember, all of this is about you. It's not about other people. People don't understand your journey. They don't. So if people tell you, well, you shouldn't cut off your mom, or you shouldn't cut off your cousins, or you shouldn't cut off, they don't know. They don't know. And if you're sticking around in relationships because somebody else said you should do it, then you're trapped. And you're going to be forever trapped by that. You're going to be pulled back into the betrayer's web, and it's going to be hard to get out. And again, remember what I said, if you go backwards with these people, you're kind of going to get what you deserve because you had a chance to get out. There are billions of people in this world. You can find other people. No, you're not going to be able to replace family members per se, but blood makes you family, not the relationships. I got best friends right now that are my family. These are people right now to this day that I would do anything for, and them for me. They are my family. Nope, they're not related to me. Hell, y'all know my best friend. He white. He ain't related to me, but he's my best friend. He is my family. He's there for everything when it comes to me. There's not one time that he is inconsistent in my life. And I have some other inconsistent friends, but not these two. Not this one. My family. I found them. And you know how I found them? Because I let go. Remember, if you've been following me, he was my neighbor. I didn't meet him when I was 10 years old. We didn't grow up together and being as though he's 10 years younger than me. But you get what I'm saying. We didn't grow up together. We didn't go to school together. I didn't meet him at my job. He was my next door neighbor. And when I started letting go other things and other inconsistent people, I made room for other good people. And they came along. 2 people that were my neighbors now are my family. All because I let go. All because I no longer tolerated inconsistent people around me. When you all start to, on your healing journey, when you start loving yourself and figuring out what you want, this will be easy for you too. I make it look easy, but there are days when it's hard. But you will get through it. You can get through it. Stop saying that you can't. Stop saying that it's hard. Stop believing you're the bad person for wanting better for yourself, because you're not. I'm not bad because I want my mental health stable. I'm not a bad person because I want better for me. I'm not selfish. But then again, I am selfish because I don't want to go to bed with baggage. I don't want to wake up with headaches. I don't want to wake up being aggravated. So yes, I'm a little selfish. I care about me. I love me. And their betrayal doesn't define me. The betrayal is about the betrayers, not you. All right, that's it. That is it. If you all want an ebook, or it's going to be a little workbook of the notes that I had already given you all, I can definitely, you can DM me. I could definitely send it to your email, and it'll go over the points that I said. I'll reiterate them in the workbook, and you can follow those. On the days that you are feeling betrayed or you want to relive your betrayal, look in the workbook. Don't get discouraged that the people who betrayed you somehow, that is your fault, and somehow you will never be able to be whole again, because you can. If you're already on your healing process, on your healing journey, these are just some of the other things you have to heal from. And I was able to get through this unscathed because I started my healing journey, because I am doing the work that I need in order to heal. These people can't have power over me anymore. They no longer have the power. It is mine. I have accepted the betrayal. I haven't exactly moved on yet, but I have accepted it. I'm going to be moving on because I'm going to be leaving the state. So I don't even have to think about it. See these people. I don't have to worry about bumping into them in the grocery store. I don't have to worry about seeing them in the mall. I don't have to worry about them, because my betrayals live here in my town. Now I'm going to be in a whole new big city. I don't got time to be worried about the people who betrayed me. I have to be worried about how to get around Texas. You can get over this. You will get through this. Being betrayed doesn't define you as a person. It says something about the people that do the betraying. And as long as you keep that mindset after being betrayed, you will heal faster from it. Always remember, it's not about you. It's about them. That's it. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Don't forget, DM me if you want that workbook. That way you'll have it. You can print it off. That way you'll have it in, someplace for you to have it in your hands. You will be able to print that off. You will be able to go back over the steps. You'll be able to journal down how you're feeling. Y'all know how big I am on journaling and writing things down. I wish the world knew that journaling could solve some of the problems in your life. I'm sorry. I'm just like obsessed with journaling. I love all things journaling. Okay, so I will have that workbook if you want it. I may even just put it in. I may put a link for you to download it or I can send it straight to your email. Either way, it'll be available for you, just so that you will be able to get through this. And if you still need help getting through this, please reach out to me. I am open for coaching you through this. You can get through this. It's not hard. It'll be hard at first, but we can tackle hard things. That's what we're made of. We're made to tackle hard things. And you can do this. See you guys next Tuesday. Bye.